Now at 5, Joplin's new camping ordinance triggers debate over whether it targets people experiencing homelessness. Plus, Pittsburgh State University's gallery showcases a new captivating collection.
FBI agents raid the home of one of President Trump's former top officials. I'm Erica Brown from the White House with more on the investigation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin's new city ordinance banning camping in public places sparks concern among citizens who say it targets the homeless. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. Joplin passed a city ordinance in April about camping in public places like city parks. Now, camping is defined in the ordinance as to pitch, use, or occupy camp facilities for the purpose of habilitation. Now, some citizens are concerned this ordinance is aimed at people experiencing homelessness.
John Q. Citizen jaywalking, you're going to get approached by JPD. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to get a citation. We try to sprinkle in a little bit of compassion and common sense into what we do, but we're going to enforce our ordinances because they're in place to make Joplin safe. They're in place so that everybody is treated equally and fairly, and that's how we enforce those ordinances.
Tonight on KOAM News at 6, we hear from both Joplin residents and the assistant city manager about the ordinance. Pittsburgh State University says with a brand new semester comes brand new artwork. The University Gallery in Porter Hall is now showcasing what locals call a captivating collection from the 1900s, featuring the work of acclaimed artist Diane Bronstein. The exhibit is called The Unreal City. Organizers say the exhibit not only adds a sense of calm to campus life, but also offers students a unique opportunity to connect with timeless artistry.
It combines mixed media work with vintage photographs and fibers to embroider over the top of the photographs, and her aim is to both engage the viewer with the work, but also to sort of comment on sort of climate issues.
The exhibit is free and runs through mid-October. Well, thanks to a generous anonymous donation, Pittsburgh's Memorial Auditorium now features a brand new digital marquee. Built in 1925 and renovated in 1984, the addition of the digital sign brings a new technological look to the center. Known as the MAC, it's considered a vibrant part of the Pittsburgh community. Well, meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures today were only in the upper 80s. So overall, it was just a gorgeous day. Mostly sunny skies. We did have a few clouds out there. Now it only feels like 90 outside. So it's really just amazing out there. Great weather. We call this our false faller. We're going to get to that later in the weekend and into next week. Now tonight, temperatures are quickly dropping down into the 70s, getting down to about 64 degrees tonight. So a nice, cool, crisp morning for us again Saturday morning. Not a lot going on out there. A few clouds. Those are going to start to push out of here by late tonight, and then we do have a round of rain as we head into Saturday. Now you can see a little spike there in the morning for isolated shower chances, and then the yellow bar, you can see it doesn't really go up to scattered showers, mostly just staying in those isolated shower chances. Now that continues for the afternoon, and it's bringing in some cooler temperatures as well, which I'll talk about coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The Department of Justice is carrying out search warrants on a former Trump advisor turned critic. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
FBI agents searched the Maryland home of former National Security Advisor John Bolton, who served in President Trump's first term. Agents also searched his Washington, D.C. office, and hours later were seen carrying items out the back door. CBS News has learned the search was related in part to a classified documents investigation.
He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out.
The first Trump administration accused Bolton of divulging classified information in his 2020 memoir titled The Room Where It Happened. The Justice Department sued to block the publishing of the book, but the Biden administration dropped the case. Vice President J.D. Vance told NBC's Meet the Press with Kristen Welker the investigation was not retribution.
Unlike the Biden DOJ and the Biden FBI, our law enforcement agencies are going to be driven by law and not by politics. And so if we think that Ambassador Bolton has committed a crime, of course, eventually prosecutions will come.
FBI Director Kash Patel said on social media FBI agents were on a mission, and Attorney General Panda responded saying America's safety isn't negotiable. Justice will be pursued always. Bolton served as Trump's national security advisor until he was fired in 2019. Since then, he's been highly critical of Trump's foreign policy. Bolton called President Trump's bilateral talks in Alaska on the war in Ukraine a win for Russian President Vladimir Putin.
He's like a very quiet person, except on television. If you could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that.
Trump says he was unaware of the raid before it happened. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Neither Bolton nor his attorney have commented on the FBI search. Still ahead, a frozen shrimp recall that's affecting local markets and multiple brands. We look at why it's being taken off the shelves and why it could be connected to radioactive exposure. But first, in Health Watch, research shows drugs used for asthma could also stop life-threatening food allergies. Topping today's Health Watch, more than 30 million Americans suffer with food allergies in the U.S. And now scientists at Northwestern University have found a drug used for asthma that could stop life-threatening food allergies by inhibiting a reaction in the first place. Marissa Sulik has more.
Alana Gallant never knew she had a food allergy until 3 years ago when she got this life-changing reaction from inhaling sunflower butter. While she developed allergies later in life, her 9-year-old daughter Emma has a list of food allergies that started at a young age.
She developed anaphylactic food allergies at 13 months, and I knew absolutely nothing about food allergies.
Anaphylactic allergies can be deadly and require immediate medical attention. It's a worry Gallant says weighs on her daily. So she started the Food Allergy Fund that gives money to research across the country.
Right now, there is no FDA-approved disease-modifying drug available, period, for any patient.
Northwestern University doctors Stephanie Eisenbarth and Adam Williams are leading a new study thanks to the Food Allergy Fund. They found an asthma drug called Xyluten could work. It's FDA-approved and may be a safe, cheap, and accessible option.
I think if I had 10 years ago said to experts in food allergy, we want to trial this drug in food allergy, everyone would have said, you're kind of crazy.
They are now running a new trial with over 20 people from Chicago. It started last month to see if it works in humans.
But obviously that has to be incredibly controlled and in a safe environment where if someone needs epinephrine or, more help, it's available right away.
Dr. Eisenbarth says if Xyluten is the future, it would prevent accidental exposures like on airplanes, restaurants, or parties. It's not so much for everyday use, but Gallant says this is only the beginning.
We'll probably need more tools in our toolbox because the disease is becoming more complicated and more prevalent.
And the more options to save lives, the better. Marissa Sulik, CBS News, Chicago.
Well, taking a popular weight loss drug is linked to lower rates of cancer for people who are overweight or obese. A study published in JAMA found overweight people who took GLP-1 RAs had an overall reduced risk of cancer, including lower risk of endometrial and ovarian cancer. However, the study also found an increased risk of kidney cancer, especially among patients under the age of 65. Exposure to antibiotics does not raise the risk of autoimmune disease in children. A Korean study counters previous research suggesting a link between exposure to antibiotics as a fetus or infant and autoimmune disease. Researchers say the findings show there's a need for cautious and appropriate use of antibiotics during pregnancy and early infancy. More than half of doctors in the U.S. record feeling burnout, but a new study suggests AI can help. Research by Mass General Brigham and Emory Healthcare shows doctors who used AI programs to record patient visits and write up clinical notes said they experienced 21% less burnout. The study also suggests AI's help with paperwork and that doctors would have more time to see patients. And that's a look at today's health news. A little later, zero waste fashion. See how someone's trash could be another one's dress clothes.
And some weekend storms bring us a false fall next week. I'll have those details coming up. We've been talking about this false fall coming up next week, and I know everyone's excited, but we have a couple more days to get through before that gets here. Let's go ahead and take a look outside right now. Clear skies, or mostly clear skies, a few clouds out there, but beautiful evening. You can see, taking a look at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Just a couple of those clouds out there, but no rain chances tonight. We won't see rain chances until tomorrow. Now we are going to see these rather mild temperatures, or near average actually, upper 80s today. We saw upper 80s yesterday as well. Now tomorrow we're going to be right about average in the 90s with our overnight low again in the mid 60s. But what we really need is some rain chances. We are still seeing our drought just creeping back in. I mean, you can see it's like a hand. It's just inching further and further into our region. Now, Monette down to Cassville, out to Branson, there's an actual drought, so that's a moderate risk. The rest of us in that yellow, just dry, pushing out to Columbus, Miami, up to Nevada as well. Definitely need some rain. Now we get a little bit of some rain chances tomorrow starting. You can see early in the morning, just some very slight, it's a less than 10% chance of some isolated showers. But then later in the afternoon, we're looking at this 20% bar over there, 3, 5, and all the way out to late evening on Saturday. So that's where we're going to see our first round of rain. Not a huge widespread threat and not making it out to the Monette area, which is where we need the most rain. It's going to stay more on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, but it is still going to drop temperatures for everybody starting on Sunday. We're going from the low 90s on Saturday to the upper 80s on Sunday, and then we're going to see temperatures dropping even more than that. But let's talk about those rain chances first. All right. Heading into Saturday morning, we get these southerly winds to start off our morning. So we do have this little window where we could see slightly higher temperatures than what we've seen the last couple of days, only by a degree or two, not a big difference there. But then here comes our front. Now clouds move in along the front, but it is a dry front. Behind the cold front, we get these northerly winds, and then we're going to get these elevated showers and pop-up thunderstorms. So here we go, starting early in the afternoon, very isolated showers, but later in the afternoon and into early evening, more of these isolated thunderstorms start to move in. So this is pushing just to the east or west, of Pittsburgh, out towards Columbus and Oswego. Might make it into the Joplin area, but our more widespread rain is going to be pushing in just behind that one little isolated storm. So this is all starting about 6 to 7 p.m. on Saturday. Here we are at 8, now making its way into our central counties. Now, like I said, these are mostly going to stay on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, not quite making it to our Missouri side, but Joplin might get a few of these lighter showers just on the tail end of this. Now, this is going to continue late Saturday, pushes out towards the south pretty quickly, and then we again have that drop in temperatures on Sunday down to the upper 80s, upper 70s on Monday. So that's where I said we have that false fall to start next week, upper 70s and low 80s all through the week. Now, luckily for us, I know, we have just a little chance of rain on Saturday, but we have more chances. Heaviest amount of rain could be Monday and Thursday, but isolated chances throughout the entire week.
Yeah, I'm loving those 70s and 50s at night.
Oh yeah, me too.
Couldn't ask for better. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, Rodeo Miami is back in town. This is a live look from the Miami Fairgrounds where the event is taking place. The event brings all the excitement you would expect from the 14-time ACRA Rodeo of the Year. Tickets are available in advance or at the gate. Rodeo Miami runs through tomorrow. Well, coming up, see how one fashion designer is combating fashion waste. Topping today's Consumer Watch, transforming trash into treasure has become a way of business for one female-run company in California. They're combating fast fashion waste with everything from beer cloths to boulevard banners. CBS's Rena Nakano takes a look.
Stephanie Choi sees the beauty in things everywhere she goes. Things that have limited lifespans, like these lamppost signs that will soon be taken down.
Ooh, maybe we can do something with that.
Environmental Protection Agency data shows in the U.S. alone, more than 11 million tons of textiles end up in landfills. The fast fashion industry contributes to a large chunk of that. When Choi began looking for a career in sustainability, she met designer Lisa Sidlecki and architect Jenny Silbert. In 2014, the women left their corporate jobs when they found a material that changed their lives.
This is a beer filter cloth.
A giant textile made of nylon and plastic used to filter the hops and barley.
The brewery that we get the material from goes through 2 tons of it every 3 days.
It's like...
Yeah.
But its industrial strength and unique color were perfect for a fashionable bag. The women soon recruited Choi and began scavenging for other unwanted materials. Expired climbing ropes, decored and cleaned for the handles. Then came the massive airbag recall.
You can still see the original markings.
They paired the silicone-coated nylon with unusable seat belts to create a backpack.
You're going to see more square shapes so that we don't have to cut too much off of the edge.
Since then, they've experimented with overproduced karate belts, t-shirts, tents, and even foam reimagined as bags, clothes, and furniture. Their work sparked collaborations with big brands and artists like Billie Eilish and Coldplay. And for those who want a more personal upcycling experience, Rewilder just launched its new Airbnb Original Experience, where you're invited into their studio to create something of your own. Guests will turn this leftover banner from their prior production of totes into a vinyl clutch.
There's been more love and labor that's been poured into something that is sustainable, that is upcycled.
Choi says it's a lot more work than fast fashion, but hopes people appreciate the beauty of slowly breathing new life into trash. Rena Nakano, CBS News, Glendale, California.
Well, more frozen shrimp have been recalled due to possible radioactive contamination. Southwind Foods is recalling batches of frozen shrimp sold in 9 states under multiple brand names, including Sandbar, Best Yet, and Arctic Shores. The FDA is investigating an Indonesia-based processing company that's linked to the contamination. Consumers are urged to throw the products away or return them to the place of purchase for a full refund. The iconic Jeep Cherokee is getting a new look amid financial pressure from President Trump's tariffs on foreign-built cars and auto parts. The brand is now rolling out a new hybrid model, a first for Jeep and a first in North America for its parent company, Stellantis. Last month, Stellantis reported its net revenue was down 13% from 2024. The global company estimates tariffs will cost it around $1.7 billion this year. It says it has already shelled out about $350 million in the first half of this year alone.
It's something where you're going to be able to get that best of both worlds, where you're still going to get great range, but you still don't have the anxiety of maybe a plug or finding that charging infrastructure. Even though tariffs has occurred, we've actually repriced and lowered and improved the value equation across Jeep for almost every car that we're making right now, even though tariffs are still hitting our business.
President Trump implemented a 25% tariff on imported foreign cars and auto parts, which took effect in April to bolster domestic car production. Well, fans of Severance, The Morning Show, and other popular Apple shows are going to have to pay more to watch them soon. Apple TV Plus says it's hiking its monthly fee for U.S. subscribers to $12.99, up from $9.99. The yearly price will remain at $99.99. Well, a final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, there's a new trend you may have noticed this summer, the living room at the beach. And then on KOAM News at 6, Pittsburgh roadwork continues with the help of your tax dollars. We follow the money. Plus, Miami football, 2-a-days get into gear. We preview the upcoming season. And KOAM Sports Director Ryan Blank sits down with the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mitch Holthus. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and KOAM News at 6. Well, giant panda twins Gia and Day Day celebrated their first birthdays in Hong Kong last Friday. The cubs were born last August to Ying Ying, who became the oldest giant panda on record to give birth. Happy birthday.
They are so cute.
Yeah, they are.
Final check.
The forecast is looking pretty cute, if I say so myself. Temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s following some storms Saturday afternoon. So we do have a couple of warmer days this weekend to get through, but a false fall in store for us next week.
I'll take it, though. Well, thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and we'll be back here for KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better weekend.